Good evening, Eventini. We're back at you live this time tonight. Every time we record over a couple days, I don't know. It feels like it's been so long. Dash, how you doing, man?
It feels like we've filmed yesterday, but we didn't.
Well, we did. We recorded.
Oh, yeah, we pre-recorded.
Yeah.
But hey, everybody, welcome to this nice, quiet Wednesday evening. We're about to let the floodgates open. We're gonna talk some topics, and we're gonna open up the phone lines. I did not get a dial tone soundbite.
Oh,
Damn it!
Come on, man.
Damn it! I knew I forgot something. I knew it. But we'll talk about some stuff. I think we'll cover the new thing that kind of dropped last night in the middle of the night for us was the 15 points with the new TAR documents that got released. Apparently we're getting some new documentation, potentially getting some 15 points back. I kind of want to cover the Alexandro stuff because there's a couple of folks that have kind of made some videos on this, and also just some comments over the whole Alexandro automatic renewal, the 2-year deal, and potentially Juan Cuadrado being renewed, which I haven't heard from anyone or anything. So we got some more stuff. Again, this is also, you guys can ask us questions too in the chat. We'll be opening up the phone line soon, so you guys will be able to call in. Don't have to show your face. You can just come in, speak your piece, come in, tell me how my presentations or my pronunciation skills suck.
Ellie will.
I get it. But you can do that. But anyways,
there's the link in the chat.
Yeah.
Damn.
For sure. So hey, Dan,
coming in hot already
with
going to Conte
question.
Yeah. Love it.
So Dan says, hey, Dave and Dash, do you think Conte will get sacked by Tottenham? Lots of Tottenham fans want Conte out of Tottenham. So Conte's contract expires at the end of the season. So regardless of whether or not they want him there or not, he's done at the end of the year. And it doesn't look like he wants renewal. Personally, well, I'll touch briefly on this. He couldn't beat a trash Milan side. I shouldn't say a trash Milan side, but they made Tomori look like he was the best center back in the world today. I was watching that game and I was just cringing because, like, Tottenham did not create anything. Like, the only thing that they had was, like, a half-assed header by Harry Kean at the end that was parried by Mike Mignon. But, like, Tottenham looked terrible. And to all the people that said that all players regress under Allegri, if you watch Kulusevski this game, holy crap, that guy's a dumpster fire. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, how the hell did I'm being honest, because, like, how did we get 45 million for that guy?
Who gives a fuck?
I'm just saying, I'm hoping that, like, that deal becomes permanent, because, like, if it doesn't, we're screwed. But yeah, watching Kulusevski over those 2 legs against Milan, where I'm just kind of like, yikes, thank God we got rid of him. And then Christian Romero definitely decides to make his case of the dumbest center back I've ever seen. The reason why I bring him up is because we owned him and we sent him to Atalanta, the Tottenham, because a lot of people were saying, oh, we should have kept him as a center back. Dude got 2 stupid yellow cards and got himself sent off in a crucial game. Like, we don't want that guy. That's not a Juve player. So 2 players that go ahead.
Kean just did that, but I guess a lot of people would say they don't want him either.
Yeah.
Is that same category?
But the thing is Romero's got a track record of getting booked. Like, he's got a really, really nasty track record of doing stuff like that. So, again, proves it again this game. Nothing really, like...
And maybe that's something too, right? Like, if he's undisciplined, that's not really what Juventus want in their locker room.
No. And I think Juve saw it, and that's why they sent him to Atalanta.
Yeah. Where, I mean, Gasperini can do whatever Gasperini does over there.
Well, I mean, Atalanta's the event eventually, like, the booster. Like, in the United States where you're, like, flipping houses. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but, you buy an old rundown house or a house that doesn't really have that much into it, build it up, and then you sell it for a profit. That's what Atalanta is. They buy all the Juve clunk or clutter and try to flip it for a profit. I mean, Christian Romero, Demiral.
So it's like American Pickers, or like any of those Discovery Channel or HGTV shows.
Yeah. And then kind of going off of the Champions League recap again today. So I also simulcast it. So I had one TV watching Milan and Tottenham. The other TV, I had Bayern Munich and PSG. PSG has to be one of the most overrated clubs I've ever seen in my life.
Well, on paper, they're brilliant.
Like, holy crap. And people say we play shitty. Like, everyone's like,
they don't show up, though. Like, some days they're just because it's all these superstars, and sometimes I don't know, maybe they party too hard, or
Yeah, but
somebody hurt their feelings, and there's like, nah, I'm just not doing it too.
But here's the thing, like, Bayern Munich don't look like they're anything crazy either. Like, I was watching that game, fell asleep until, like, the 60th minute, and then I heard, "Goal, Bayern Munich." I was like, "Huh?"
Well, they haven't had the greatest of years either. They're still top of the league, of course, but it's a lot tighter this year, right?
Yeah, but look
People
how
are nipping at them.
but here's the thing, Dave. So, like, I watched, Chelsea and Dortmund the other night, or the previous night I was watching Chelsea and Dortmund, and I'm, like, sitting here, I'm like, "No wonder why Bayern Munich wins the league 10 years in a row. This is who their main competition is." Like, Dortmund couldn't beat the worst Chelsea team in the decade. Like, Dave, I kid you not, like, they had close to no chances created.
Listen, there are people out there that would argue that the most expensive item on the market is the best thing, regardless of how trashy it is.
I was just pissed because I'm kind of indifferent right now because I was a little bit pissed that Chelsea won because now I have to listen to the Premier League stands being like cough and choke, but I'm like choking on air. They're like, "All right, guys, look at this, mates. We beat Dortmund. We came back from being 1-0 down. We beat them." And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, "Dortmund, you guys just had one job and you couldn't get it done." But kudos to Milan for knocking out Tottenham. Now I just need to see Manchester City get knocked out, and
Manchester City, PSG, Tottenham, Arsenal in the Europa League, Manchester United in the Europa League.
Yeah.
Who else? Who are we missing?
Benfica played really well. Benfica absolutely manhandled Bruges.
They're having a year. But
I do.
Yeah, Bruges is probably one of the easiest teams they've had to play this whole tournament.
Yeah. But still, man, they put 5 on them in that game yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, they're great. I think they're the underdog everyone wants to win, perhaps this year. I have a feeling.
It wouldn't surprise me if Bruges goes into the semifinals, or not Bruges. Benfica goes into the semifinals because
surprised Bruges is like Bruges typically. Like, what's their best outing? How far have they gone in history? Let's look that up.
This is the first time they've hit the round of 16 in my recent history.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep on talking. I'll look this up.
But yeah, that one was interesting. But I don't feel bad about the whole group stage with Benfica because those guys are ballers. Like, they are really, really good. I totally did not expect it. Frankie coming in with the hand waving. Frankie says Tottenham had a horrendous game today. They also had a horrendous game 3 weeks ago in the San Siro.
So this is the first time they've qualified for the knockout stage. So this is the farthest they've gone.
I gotcha. And then KF Squad says, "Yes, lads," because I'm pretty sure he hates Tottenham. Niket says PSG is overrated and the manager has zero authority and backing. And then Benfica is awesome.
And I'm putting the link back in the chat there for whoever wants to jump in.
And then Tottenham, pronounced Tottenham.
Frankie's
Tottenham.
Here. Tottenham. What?
And
Tottenham. Oh yes, yeah, Tottenham.
Tottenham.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna bring Frankie here. Here he is. Welcome.
Yo, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Yeah, we're good. How are you?
Good, Frankie. Are you
doing all right?
Setting the mood with the bedroom stream? Just
yeah.
All nice, warm, and toasty.
Yeah. There's a dog in the bottom of my camera. If you see her moving.
Oh yeah.
Dave's got like 10.
I have 6. I have 6.
6 talks. Nice. Actually, I have 11 puppies right now as well. So I mean, if we're gonna measure dicks, I think I want.
I just got one dog. It's inside me.
Oh, that was the fucking worst.
Oh, that's the. Oh no!
Is this what you're giving us?
Hey,
get him out of here! Get him out of here!
You're fired. I got Frankie now. You're fired. Oh man, Frankie, what's going on? What do you want to bitch about tonight?
No, man, I think I was talking about it. I've seen a lot of like shit about it on Twitter, obviously, because Twitter's like a cesspool for just bullshit.
Yeah,
but it's just it's the amount of like people that I see that are actually like thinking that Kean. Like the amount of shit they're saying towards Kean, I understand he fucked up, but it's just like, man, you cannot be taking it that far. Like, it is bad.
I want to talk about Kean actually, because I think there's 2 sides to the story.
He just got bought out, I believe, right?
Yeah, so the news just came out. I don't know how coincidental that news was. Maybe it's completely coincidental that like it was just signed. They put him on this match, and bam, he gets a red card. We don't really know. Those details aren't really there. Dash's beard came off, and so did
That's a W comment. That's a W comment.
Nice. Okay, but nobody's talking about Mancini and the dirtbag move he did.
Yeah,
Because
you want to know what's funny? FIFA gave him a team of the week.
oh my god,
FIFA gave Mancini a team of the week.
I was just saying, you never know. Maybe Mancini was trying to do a kink that Moisey had, just grab him by the shoulder and pull his hair, and
just drag him across the ground.
Yeah, maybe Kean likes it a little bit rough.
Well, he probably does, but not like that. Come on, nobody enjoys that. Clearly, he didn't.
I bet you. I was gonna say, I bet you Mancini was looking down at him, waiting for him to say, "Stop, Daddy," but he's like, "Oh crap, wrong context, wrong game."
Yeah, and I don't entirely blame Kean for that reaction. Now, is it right? No, but I don't know. I remember when I was young and full of just piss. I want to just fuck everyone up,
I thought you were about to say young and full of pure, unabated sexual desire.
No, Jesus.
Like that, man.
I was underage. That's just weird now. Anyways, come on, guys. No, he got manhandled. He comes on the game, and I know how he is. He's done this before. He comes on the game, and he gets frustrated early on because he just wants to make that impact. And these players are allowed to manhandle him because I don't know if the refs have some sort of prejudice against him, because this isn't the first time we've seen this, or he's come on fresh off the bench and immediately just get manhandled. So, yeah. I mean, he's got to defend himself too. Not saying what he did was right, again, like to the extent, but you do have to stand up for yourself. In this case, yeah, he went over the top. He still has a bit of an anger issue. Clearly, he has to work on controlling himself. Again, 22-year-old, just like full of testosterone, fresh on the pitch. I do kind of understand that. But, man, Mancini, that piece of shit. Why did nothing happen to him? That's where I want to deflect. I kind of excuse Kean, not completely, but Mancini, Frankie, fuck him up.
Dude, I do not fucking understand how that was. Okay, so you showed a red to Moisey. Obviously, you kind of have to. He blatantly kicked him right in front of the ref. But you gotta give one to Mancini, man. You have to. That has to be a double red there. I don't understand how you do not give the double red there. Like, it makes no sense to me.
At least something. Like, there was a complete. They completely ignored it. Dash, go.
See, my thing is, if I was Mancini, I wouldn't flop. Like, I would take that kick, look at him, and then I would just like stare at him.
Yeah, but you're not a bitch.
I know, but I'm saying, like, it's a red card regardless of whether or not you go to the ground or not, because there's this thing called VAR. So it's just like, the thing is like what irritates me is that's how Mourinho does. Mourinho plays scumbag football like that. Like, Mourinho sits there and says, "Hey, we got to fuck with this guy. We got to mess with this guy. This guy, get under this guy's skin." Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sure Mourinho's watched plenty of stuff on Kean, and he says, "Hey, when Kean comes in, you do this, go do this, try to do this." Because that's how Mourinho works, guys. Mourinho, when Roma was playing the Lazio under 14s, Mourinho came in with the first squad deep to that game and was taunting the kids. The dude was taunting 14-year-olds. Like, Mourinho is the definition of bully ball. Like, it's expected. That's one of those things where, like, even you can tell Allegri's reaction after it happens. He's like, I get it, but shit. Like, it's one of those things. Like, for me, I get it. Like, hey, Kean's like, "Hey, I'm not taking your crap, bleep you." But at the same time, it's like, we're down one and you just took us off a guy. Mm-hmm. And like, personally, I thought Kean would have probably done more than Vlahovic would have done at that moment, because Kean is one of those guys. And, and I wish people came in at him with this harsh energy when he was scoring 6 goals, like 6 goals back to back games. But Kean is one of those guys that somehow just magically falls ass first onto success. Like, if you look at the Spezia goal where he like shanked it hard, but it still went into the net. That's what Moise Kean has. That's something that Dusan doesn't right now. Like, until Dusan gets it, like, Kean right now is the guy that you can chuck a ball into the box and get it into the back of the net. Dusan right now gets bodied off the ball and doesn't know where he is half the time.
So, we all agree Mancini's a piece of shit. Mourinho. So you mentioned this whole thing. He taunts 14-year-olds.
He does.
Now, where's the line where you just play dirty football? And I get it. Any way you can win is the proper way to win. Cool. But against 14-year-olds, does that cross the line of you are also a piece of shit?
The dude's been a scumbag for the dude after he went to Chelsea back in 2006. Oh, yes, I think I am a special one. Like his first press conference for Chelsea. The guy
special one.
That's literally what Mourinho is. Like Mourinho when he was at Inter, when Inter beat that Barcelona super team in the Champions League semifinal in the new camp, the dude literally walked up to the middle of the pitch, looked at all the supporters and went like this.
Oh man.
Or better yet, that same game, because Inter and Barcelona traded Eto'o for Zlatan at the time, and Eto'o got the game-winning goal against Barcelona. Mourinho, mid-game, by the way, while Zlatan's getting subbed in, walks up to Pep's side of the bench, goes up to Pep behind him, and says, "Thanks for Eto'o, by the way." Like Mourinho is the definition of scumball football. Like he is a scumbag. He really is.
That's how he's made a career for himself. Just he's like the kind of guy that's always going to be on the headlines. Anything he says is going to be like in a news report or something, bro. Like that's how he gets into people's heads.
It's just those kinds of people infuriate me. I was hoping, Frankie, maybe you would defend him just so we.
Just Mourinho is definitely like
you can't really defend Mourinho.
It's unanimous, guys. You heard it here.
Like at Arsenal, like when he used to beef with Arsene Wenger at Arsenal, he like straight up says it. He's like, "Who, Arsene Wenger? That guy's a specialist in failure. Dude can't win anything to save his life." Like Mourinho don't care.
Yeah, Bones saying, yeah, with Kean putting him out in the 80th minute. Like, what do you expect with that much time? Yeah, 80th minute subs, I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, my thing is
a bit more.
My thing is this. Look, he should have pulled Vlahovic 60, 65, or 70.
He wasn't having a great game.
It just was not his game. Like,
and you want to rest him anyways, right? So
at that point, I would have just taken the L, subbed him out, and then just went through in Kean. Because again, Kean's got some hacks where he just somehow ends up getting something in the back of the net. Like with Vlahovic, like, and let's be honest here. Like, if we look at all of his goals this season, like Vlahovic, if you're sending, the only way this dude scores is if you send him a through ball and he runs and just dinks it over the goalkeeper. I don't think I've seen him score any other goal besides a free kick in that.
But you can say we needed that type of goal on Sunday.
Yeah, but we're not playing through the middle on Sunday.
No, but I'm just saying like the trashy kind of goal.
That's what you need Kean for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That we could have used more of Kean in that game.
That's what I'm saying.
We needed a trashy goal.
Yeah, we needed some Kean cheese or Kean bus, as Frankie would say it. But like,
dude,
yeah, it's just. Go ahead, Frankie.
I don't know how he does it, man. I don't know if he like prays or does some kind of like superstitious like something before every match. He's like, if he scores in a match, it's just the most like how did it go in? You don't even know how it went in when Kean scores.
I'm telling you, Spezia goal. Speaking of,
all right, just
go ahead, Frankie. Sorry, we're cutting you off.
No, it's all right. It's literally just like, man, what is like this guy has to have somebody on his side, like someone's out there like looking out for him.
All right, we got Hamza here. Sorry, that's why we're trying to get in there. Bring him in. Here he is, Hamza KF. What's going on?
Yes, lads. Yes, lads. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Are you eating?
Oh my God! No! I just got my bottle of water. You know, it's like 12:19. I just had my midnight pasta. You know, it's snowing outside. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let's see if I can possibly. Don't know if I can actually show you guys. Can you guys see that snow?
A little bit. Yeah, I see tabs of it.
Okay, well, it's snowing outside. Well, I don't think you can see the snow falling because it's like full on like dark. And this is basically our soundproof room. So I said, you know what, everyone's sleeping. I'll come down, say hello, see what you guys are saying.
Oh, nice. We're just yelling at random.
I got my Juve scarf as well, you know.
Nice. Nice return.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, so we've never gotten you on post Fiorentina, so you got to give us a little bit of a description of your trip.
Oh my God! Like I can't like fully explain how amazing it was. Like Turin is amazing. Like I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did, and it was like I went for the stadium tour. I went for the football match as well. But first thing we did was the following day is we went for the stadium tour. So you check out the museum first, and the museum is just fantastic. Like I went through all the trophy cabinet. I'll send Dave some photos on that Turin Giants Twitter, and you can show you guys.
Right.
I went to the trophies, and then you see all the kits and all the players. You know, like when they hit like 300 appearances, 200 appearances, they put it in the museum,
Nice.
and then you get these signed kits, and it was really good. Then you go through the stadium, and the stadium, mind blowing. Like UK are really slacking when it comes to stadiums. Like our stadiums, the UK, they might like have good capacity, but it looks shite. I'll be honest. Sorry for the language. Oh,
No, you're
but
fine.
yeah,
no. We've let fly. That's fine.
Okay, well, yeah, it's absolute garbage in the UK. Like I went to the Emirates, and it's comfortable seats, but the looks of the stadium, it looks rubbish. Even I went to the old the rugby stadium in the UK. We've got Tigers in Leicester. I went there. I went to the old Walker Stadium, and I've been to the King Power, which is right now. But Allianz Stadium's just levels above. Like there is.
That's really interesting because everyone's holding the Premier League as the gold standard for stadiums across Europe.
Well,
So
okay, listen. He went to the one nice stadium in the entirety of Italy.
hey, let's send KF to Naples. Have him be our correspondent in Napoli one day. Just send him into the Diego Maradona. Be like, hey, KF, how you doing? I fell through the fucking seat. I don't know what happened.
I've actually got a story about Naples. So I went to this. There was this just before the game, I went to buy like a pizza or something. So I go down to this one restaurant, which is just like it's near the Juventus store, but not the Juventus Stadium store. Another Juventus store. So they have like two stores in Italy. In Turin. So no, it's just a Neapolitan pizza store, restaurant. So I'm like, okay. I said that seems cool. I'm guessing apparently Naples have the best pizzas. So I said, let's go inside. So I'm rocked in with my Juve kit. My mates, they're rocked in with their Juve kit. My other mates rocked in with his Juve kit, and we're going inside, and they close the door and I said, don't let us in. So I'm knocking on the window, and I'm like, bruv, like your whole shop's open. Like what's happening? Are you closed? And he's like, no. You can't come in. So I'm like, brother, man, I'm just hungry. You know what I mean? So if you just send the brother a pizza, you know what I mean? So he comes outside. So one of the guys spoke English. So he came outside and he's like, we don't allow Juventus fans into this pizza place.
You're in Turin. That makes no sense.
So I looked at him right in his face. I said, listen, lad, with all due respect, yeah, I've got big money to spend here. So if you don't want my money, I'll give my money to someone else. He says, how much you going to buy? I said, 3 pizzas, man. 3 pizzas. You think you're going to say, he's like, all right, you know what? It's fine. This one off will let you in. But next time, don't wear a Juve kit. I said, no problem. There isn't going to be a next time. I ain't coming back to this place again. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get out. So I know if it's the best pizza in the world, maybe. But if it's not, then, you're not going to see me again. So
you need to go back to that place now.
But everyone was looking at me.
No, don't overdo it. Just wear a backwards hat, a backwards Juve cap. So you can't see what it is at first.
You want to know what we really want to do if we want to commit just pure savagery? Let's next time you're there, if Bepe's in Turin, we'll have Bepe go with you and just see if they recognize Bepe off rip. That'd be hilarious.
It was crazy. I can't lie. And then every time we ordered something Juve table, so it's the Juve table, that Juve table. And then they had these Coca-Colas, and it's because of the World Cup, there's all these different countries. So obviously they don't understand English there that much. So it's I'm going to them and I'm like, I want the Qatar Coca-Cola. I don't want the Cameroon one. And they're like, no. This same Coca-Cola, same. I said, no, I want the Qatar one. So they gave me. So after that, they just let me go to their fridge and swap it out. But that was another story in that shop. But it was a bit mental. But the food, amazing.
So, and that's really what the question is. That was the whole point of it.
The food.
You left me hanging this whole time.
No, but the food, I tell you right now, man, it was worth the whole shenanigans. I tell you.
What is it? Ellie's being a real savage. She's saying, or wear normal clothes, and then when you leave, just tell them Forza Juve.
I did leave saying that though. I did when I left, I said, Forza Juve. He said, you guys might win the title this time. This is the only time you're gonna win it again. I told the guy. I don't know how much of it he understood, but he did let us leave the shop unscarved, so it's okay.
You gotta go back with some Italian just so you can tell them off.
Oh, for sure.
Is-
Well, yeah, I mean, did you hook up with him around Turin at all? What did that?
sorry,
You're just tossing that in there.
No, the thing is,
It does that.
It's StreamYard.
Yeah,
it does
it
that.
does
But
that.
I got the goal that I was going to talk to Frankie about, and then I also got Enrico Zambruno on there as well.
All right, let's hit it up. Yeah, Hamza, thank you so much for the story. We've been waiting. It has been too long, honestly, guys, since we've done this whole call-in thing.
Yeah,
So-
no, for sure. And then I'm gonna get your guys' take on this, but we'll show the quick Spezia goal for Moise Kean, because this is something that we needed against Roma. We needed a whole bunch of cheese that we didn't get. So kind of going over this is courtesy of Juventus and Enrico Zambruno, but right there, like he absolutely shanks it. He shanks it.
Sinistro all'angolino
But he
al
still gets
32esimo
it.
minuto. La Juventus è avanti con Moise Kean. La zampata. Alexandro trova il
no replay,
corridoio
but-
giusto per
But again-
Paredes. Paredes
I gotta just, copyright reasons here, folks, but
sulla corsa per Kostic. Kostic in mezzo verso
like he shanks it, guys. He doesn't even hit it clean.
Moise Kean.
You can hear like the
Yeah, you hear it like run off his shin. So, look, people, you can hate Kean as much as you want, but he is the only person on this team currently that can score cheesy goals like that.
and you need that. That's the
And you
crazy
need
thing.
That's that MK cheese. That MK cheese. That's all it is. MK.
Because like the thing is Milik is actually probably the only guy on the squad that's like a complete number 9. Like as far as like off the ball movement, on the ball movement, I think that's Milik. Vlahovic is the hey, give me a through ball and I'll chip it. Then Moise Kean's like, I'll just stand here and I will just magically make it go in. Like we can do a compilation of the entire like season of Kean goals, and a lot of them are cheese. Like for example, the Lecce goal, where like Rabiot just like throws a random through ball, Kean lofts it like 30 yards, and it chips and bounces into the net. Like you need that. And I'm sorry.
So I'll throw this out here because Bones is saying, I mean, if he keeps doing it, it's luck accident. A lot of it is positioning. You can have horrible finishing skills, but you can be in the right spot and get them in.
Yeah.
That part of it might be a little bit lucky if it actually goes in, but
So, like-
you need the positioning. That's a lot of it.
Because like look at how like the positioning is like you can't even look at that. He finds where the ball's gonna go, goes
It's
in
good
there.
positioning.
Great positioning.
The finishing was completely lucky.
It was terrible. But like, let's be honest here. Like, and this isn't me roasting Dusan here. Like, we're not like that. But like, when is the last time you've seen Dusan do something like this? I've seen Milik do it, and I've seen Kean do it. Where's this from Dusan? Like, that's all he needs to do. Just improve a little bit of that off the ball movement. But this is one of the things that, since I'm kind of glad that we got both of you guys here, so I don't have to monologue it. But I'll
do it anyways.
Fuck it, I'll do it anyways. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. So with Nicolo Shira's article about Alexandro. So Alexandro is about to hit 40 appearances, which essentially goes for the automatic renewal for $6 million a season. Allegedly, Juventus is potentially working on doing a 2-year deal with Alexandro for $3 million a season. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
So to put that in perspective as well, that's basically amortizing the automatic renewal that will just be another year at $6 million to 2 more years at $3 million a year, which is you're just amortizing it over 2 years instead of 1. All right, guys, go ahead.
All right. All right. So I don't mind that actually. I know he has been playing the best, and right now he's been playing really good. Obviously, like I do believe he's been playing decently, but I think we just need that depth in that left back position, especially like an experienced guy. Even with we get Cambiaso back, it's like it's that whole like getting training with somebody who's experienced in that left back role, and I feel like giving a young Cambiaso 2 years with like an Alexandro who maybe just didn't have it in his legs to get past his prime essentially, or like hold onto his prime for like a longer period. Like somebody like Cambiaso might be able to like take some things from Alexandro and kind of like make it his own style and be like a future left back for us for like a long time.
Hamza?
Well, I actually this season Alexandro. I'll be honest. Like, I think we've had a lot of problems on the left hand side, and I think last season I wanted him out. But this season, after the way he's come back, with all the problems we've had, I think he's a good player to have. And if he's happy to split the 6 million into 2 seasons, I think that just shows that he's the type of player that we should keep, because he wants to stay at the club. He's happy to stay for 2 years for the price of 1 year. Like, it's a no-brainer. Just keep him on. The only problem I see is that I think he thinks that he's much better than he actually is, in the sense that like when he plays, you can tell that he's one of the senior players. So I'm guessing that if we were to put him on as like a rotational player, I don't know if he'll like that. That's the only thing that I can see being an issue. But generally, like, I rate Alexandro. It's an underrated opinion, but I rate him. Like, I think he tackled. I was watching him in the stadium, and he literally took someone out, got a yellow card, didn't even look at the guy, like literally dropped him. One of my mates don't watch any Juventus football, looks at me and is like, Hamza, what was that? Like, the guy just took him out. He didn't even look at him. I'm like, that is Alexandro right there.
Oh, dog. No, but
this guy will smack you, literally batter you. Yeah, wouldn't even care. He'll just walk off and take his yellow. He knew he was getting a yellow card. He just walked off.
It's funny that you say that, because we're talking with Beppe, and if anyone doesn't know, Beppe did interview Federico Chiesa on the YouTube Twitch, which is awesome, and the video's on his YouTube
the YouTube
channel.
Twitch.
Or the Juventus Twitch.
The YouTube Twitch.
Hey, that's how you know I'm not even like I'm just letting crap fly right now. That's what I love about these college shows. But so we were talking, we're like, and I think he asked me, he's like, Dash, who's like the person you want to interview the most? And I told him Alexandro. And everyone's like, what? I'm like, do you guys not realize how quiet this man is? Like, Alexandro does not peep a word.
Yeah, when you guys said that, I think it was Monday. I think I came in like at the end of my work shift, and I was like, I would like to interview Gatti and Alexandro, just because like we don't hear from Alexandro like ever at all, and then just Gatti's just like a nice little youngster.
And I was actually very curious about that. I was like, really, why those two? Like, what was your thinking? So it's actually good now to actually hear. Yeah, because the quiet ones, you got to watch out for them.
Dave, your thoughts on the Alexandro stuff?
I'm a little tentative. So I'm looking at this at a certain perspective that, and I'll just say this news that I have here in conjunction with this. So are we actually looking at the rebuild? Do we understand, like, the current management? Do they understand that we're not going to be a top competing team for the next few years? I don't know. I'm not going to put a number on it right now, but let's say 3 to 5 years. Because they are willing now to get a really young guy in, like Cambiaso, who's just starting to cut his teeth, just starting to get that playing time at the top level. Hasn't played for Juve yet. And still needs to develop into the team. And now you're going to have a 36-year-old Sandro. So another piece of news here, just to kind of go in the same vein, Mattia Perlin is already being considered more than just a second goalkeeper at Juve. If Tech decides to leave in the summer, he can become the new number one with a younger goalkeeper that would grow next to him.
I got no
so
problem
that's a very specific thought process. You have a guy that's aging out, holding on essentially to your life, but keeping that experience, getting some of those game minutes in here and there when they can. We're going to lose games because we got really old guys and we got really young guys.
Dave, but you're accepting the mediocrity, the lower standards of the club, Dave. Oh my goodness, no,
because we're just sacrificing now to come back a lot stronger later. That's that mindset that I'm seeing.
Yeah, and the thing is like, if we were to hypothetically get him for the 2 by 3, essentially 2 years, 3 million a season. This is the one thing that I think is interesting, and this is kind of reflecting on Gatti, is Sandro essentially beat Gatti for a center back job, and Sandro's a left back. So that kind of, like, and I know, Frankie, you're kind of high on Gatti a little bit. You're hoping for him to do something.
Yeah.
But that is my main thing, and that to me is a little bit disappointing, because it's like, okay, I understand Danilo, because again, Danilo's an aggressive defender. Makes sense for him to be a makeshift center back. But, like, for example, you have Alexandro stepping in as a center back and keeping Gatti from playing on the field. That's telling you something about Gatti because, again, Allegri is not, if you fit, you fit. Like, for example, with the whole Moise Kean and Milik being out of the picture, there's alleged rumors that our good friend Yildiz is about to come up to the first team and essentially be that second striker role.
I did see that.
So, look, and I think Allegri's kind of proved it this season. If you can ball, you're in. Because who thought Barrenechea was coming in? Nobody. But the dude balled out, came in, took Paredes and told him, hey, man, you're sitting on the bench, bro.
Man,
So,
who thought at the beginning of the season that Fagioli would be like a starter for Juve pretty much every game at this point? Like who would think that? Nobody was going to think that. You would think, like, literally before the season even starts, you're like, oh, my midfield's going to be Locatelli, Rabiot, and Pogba, even before the Pogba leg injury. Like, that's like, all right, that's going to be our starting midfield, like, pretty much most games. And it's like, now we're just rotating out, like, our midfield with pretty much Fagioli being, like, one of the mainstays and Rabiot.
And Moretti's slowly working his way back into fitness as well.
Yeah. But that's one of the fun things of the season, right? You have Pogba, a star number 10 that you bring in, out until essentially, well, I mean, he's gotten what, half an hour so far this season,
Yeah, roughly.
So, I mean, sometimes bad things need to happen for good to the this Moretti, Fagioli, Barrenechea.
Ellie's chiming in saying, personally, I never believed in Gatti. He got only one quality. Your defender miss is his capacity. So the one thing she's saying is he can move the ball forward, which he's good at moving the ball forward, but other than that, he's bang average.
Which is why I think he shouldn't be just like a defender anymore. I think he needs to be a midfielder. He doesn't have the defensive capabilities to be like a solid center back right now. I think he like has to be like that ball playing midfielder. I think you guys said it before. He needs to like try to convert into like that Regista role. Like I think that's where he'll excel.
But we have so many midfielders.
Yeah, that's it's like that's an issue. Yeah, obviously we have a lot of, but it's like it's either convert him to a Regista and hopefully maybe he'll get some playing time and he'll like figure out like what he has to do, and maybe that way he'll play in that midfield and then realize I can become a better defender doing these certain things, because playing different positions you figure out how to play like your natural position a little bit better. Like when I've played center back pretty much my whole entire life, and then I played striker, and I'm like, well, I know how defenders think. I played defender forever, so it's like as a striker you realize that. So it's like different positions. Maybe he'll try to figure out a little bit more, but I do have hope. He's apparently going to be starting for the Freiburg game with Danilo and Bremer.
There has been that rumor, yes. It's not confirmed.
Yeah, it's a rumor. So I'm hoping if that is the thing that happens, that he can at least show out a little bit.
That's even huge for him,
because this is like going to be one of his last chances this season to prove himself.
I think it's going to be the last, because this Freiburg's a game of huge magnitude. Dave and I have made 2 videos on Freiburg. They're no joke.
And Beppe's done one, black and white and red all over. Just released an article today on them. So it's a big deal. Hamza, what do you think of Gatti?
Well, I think Gatti should go. I know it's bad. I'm quite straightforward, but Gatti needs to go. In the beginning of the season, I didn't know much about him. I gave him a chance. I watched him play. I saw him play against PSG. There was some promising stuff. Like, when he caught up to Mbappe, I found that quite impressive at one time. I think also I watched the Barca friendly when we had it. Like, it was like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I sacrificed my morning sleep. And I'm like, you know what? I'll go watch these guys. And Gatti did look promising, but during the season, I just don't think he's good enough to be in Juventus at the moment. So in the future, whoever, it could change. But I think at the moment, Gatti is not Juve material. But going on what you said about Szczesny going, I don't think that's a good idea. And I know a lot of people rate Perrin, but personally, I think Szczesny is better. And I think Leicester made a mistake similar, where Wood was doing okay and we got rid of Schmeichel, and we just decided to keep Wood. Now we nearly got relegated, so I don't know if it would be an eye opener for all the Juve fans if Perrin comes number 1, and if something like that happens, because I think Perrin is a lot better than Wood. There's no doubt about it, but I don't think Perrin's good enough to be a Juventus main keeper. And that's because, like, if you see Chesney, I just think he's just a much better keeper. I know stats will say otherwise, but Chesney's played more games, so it's like that's why that's the case. So the more games you have, the percentage of your save rate might go lower because you're playing more games. So I think that's something that should be taken in consideration. But again, it's one of them underrated opinions. But I think if we do get Chesney, if Chesney does go, we should get a replacement there as well.
I do like that take, actually. Yeah, no, I like where we're going. Dash, go with that.
No, I'm sure, and also you've probably seen him during his days at Arsenal there as well too. Just because you're by the vicinity. So, yeah, Chesney. My only thing with Chesney is there's sometimes Chesney sometimes streaks. Like there's like moments where this dude is absolutely out of this world, and then there's some days where he throws the ball at his goalkeeper and then
Cough against Mexico in the World Cup.
Saved Messi's pen. Saved Messi's pen.
Yeah.
So he's done a bunch of stuff like that where he's just absolutely been pure insanity, and then like you have the Udinese game last season where the dude literally just like has a brain fart, or even like you can even argue one of the goals that Atalanta scored against us a couple weeks ago, the Lookman goal, where he just kind of was like, ugh, like what? Same thing with the Torino goal, with the first goal where he like has a hand on it, but just doesn't have a firm hand on it. But there's things, but again, I think we have the luxury of having, a 1A and a 1B goalkeeper. I think if anything, I think Perin is a transitional goalkeeper. Like, for example, say that Chesney goes to Tottenham at the end of the season. You could probably run Perin for about a season while, say that it's Carnesecchi or someone that's developing behind him. And then, they switch out for Perin. Because, Perin has a ceiling. I think one of the issues with Perin is his ball distribution. He's not good with his feet, and neither is Chesney as well. And I think that's evident, too, because if you look at a lot of the top goalkeepers in the world, a good chunk of them know how to move the ball with their feet. And, we just haven't had that. And it's just an asset that we don't really have. Because I'll say this with both Chesney and Perin, their ball distribution isn't the greatest as far as long balls go. Where you look at, like, for example, other goalkeepers, totally different story, especially if you start getting into the Premier League, even La Liga per se. But like, for example, Manuel Neuer, the dude's like almost 40 years old and still dribbles and burns people with the ball. So it's like, it's that. But, the thing is if you don't have a good defensive back line that can create and play the ball out of the back, you kind of need your goalkeeper to be that guy. And, looking at it objectively, our back line cannot really build to save their lives. Because, like, for example, if we're relying on Bonucci's long balls to start something up, it's not the best thing.
We have been.
You want some good ball distribution? Ochoa's pretty good at it.
Oh boy.
No.
He's also.
I'm all jokes. No, but seriously, I wanted to talk about. So there's a potential rumor. Obviously, PSG's like going through it. They're just literally everything's going bad for them right now.
I love it.
There was a little. Yeah, I love it too. It's amazing. But there's like a little bit of a rumor going on, maybe Donnarumma wants his way back to the Serie A.
There is.
Would you be open to it? I want to know what you guys think.
So I'll just read the news piece here from Gazzetta, just because, we're on it. Juventus prepare for the life after tech. They'll be looking for an Italian goalkeeper, with the hottest names being Empoli's Vicario and Atalanta's Carnesecchi. Keep an eye out for Donnarumma, as his name was also brought up. So, more tech leaving. And I should also note that his contract's going to be up at the end of next year. So if they're going to cash in, they're going to have to do it this summer. So, all right, guys, hit it up.
I think he's too expensive. I think Donnarumma's way too expensive for him to come back to us. Unless he's willing to take a massive pay cut, I don't see us going. And the thing is also, like, Donnarumma has howlers. Like, he is prone to some howlers, like really, really bad howlers. So if you're paying him X amount of dollars and he makes a mistake like that, I don't know. I don't know how I would feel about that. Because, like, for example, when you have a Carnesecchi, you have a room for error. You have essentially developmental gaps that you can get to, where it's like, okay, it makes sense. But with Donnarumma, you bring Donnarumma in and you're paying $6 million plus a season, because he's going to be because he's making 12 at PSG right now. So Pogba's our most expensive player with 8+2, 8+3. I don't think Juve signs Donnarumma at $8 million. I don't even think Donnarumma takes $8 million unless he's really desperate to get out of there. Like Donnarumma's already priced himself out of Serie A. The only spot I could see him going is the Premier League.
I mean, he's literally said himself too that he's trying to get Messi type numbers for his contracts. Like that's what he wants. So I kind of brought it up because it's like a name that obviously keeps popping up every time Juve's and talks about getting like a Italian goalkeeper. It's always Donnarumma ever since that Milan season, obviously. But yeah, it's
Ellie brings it up perfectly. She says, sorry, KF. But Ellie says, no, I think the Donnarumma train is past. Personally, she doesn't like him. But go ahead, Hamza.
Yeah, no, I actually think we should look into possibly. And I know there was a rumor a little while ago, but I think it's gone now. But it was Edouard Mendy. I think Chelsea is going to be selling a lot of their players, and I think Juve don't have the capacity at the moment to get Donnarumma. I don't think it's realistic. I think it is like a Milinkovic-Savic, so we want him, like everyone wants him. But I think we'll end up going with a keeper that, like Edouard Mendy, because like he's not getting played at Chelsea right now. So if and it's going to be a big sale in Chelsea. You'll see the next transfer window. Most of the big players are going because they've brought in new big players. So it's like, how many players can they actually maintain? So I think clubs like Juventus might get a good deal on like these type of players. So I think we might. You never know. Just if we do get Mendy, just remember I said it first. Just remember.
Speaking of Chelsea, one player that I'm still a little bit on board for that we should potentially look at is Pulisic.
I knew it.
No. Yes, he's still no. Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
He hasn't been playing well. He hasn't been playing very well. But
so hear me out. Hear me out. This is good. This is why we have you guys. All right. So I don't think he's a starter for us, Hamza. That's not what I'm looking for in Pulisic. I think he's more so a utility player that can play around the front line as a substitute per se. Because then, like, for example, he can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can even play as a false nine. Because the problem is right now, we don't have anyone that can play support behind our striker, and we don't have a utility player that's able to play all over the place. That you can just put him in, he'll fit in perfectly. Whereas if Chelsea's trying to liquidate Pulisic, you get Pulisic for 20, 25 million, I think we're cooking as a pretty good substitute.
Personally, I don't mind it. Obviously, like he'd probably come relatively cheaper than most options we would have as a backup. But somebody, I said it. It's like the whole Pulisic rumors. I was like, I think Adama Traore would be like a perfect like off the bench player. He's incredibly strong. Dude's fast as hell. He can play both wings and he can play fullback. Dude's a pretty good utility player, I think. So I think he would be like, he'd probably be like roughly around the same price as Pulisic, honestly. But I think he would be a good one to bring in.
Yeah, but his baby oil expense would be ridiculous, though.
Yeah.
Hamza, what's your thoughts?
Well, in regards to Pulisic, I don't think he'll go to Juventus, and I think the reason for that is nothing to do with him not fitting in. I think that he wants to go to a team that he's actually going to start like every game, because
he's going to Leeds, the American Premier League team.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's going Leeds either. And the reason for that is because their manager Jesse Marsh, he's gone. So I don't see many more Americans going there now. But again, I could be wrong. But I don't see him coming Juve because I don't think he wants to be a rotational player. I think he wants to start. I think he'll go to a team where he will be able to start every game because he has the quality to start in some teams, but it's just not a big team like Juve. It's just
No, I got you. That's fair. No,
take him out Fulham. Take him out Fulham.
So speaking of Leeds United, we have a player that's on loan there. Unfortunately, it's not an obligation, and as of recent, they are currently in a relegation battle. And if said relegation battle does not go well for them, we might be getting a midfielder back. So, do you guys think Leeds essentially saves themselves and keeps McKennie? Because I've heard he's been playing terrible.
I don't think so. He had, from what I remember, he had like a couple first games, and since then he just hasn't been playing well. I think even if they do save themselves, I don't think they're gonna keep him on.
Oh,
Dave just signed himself. Oh, Dave had to step out for a minute. It's all good, guys. I'm here.
But yeah, I don't think they keep him on even if they do stay up in the Premier League. I feel like they're gonna like kind of just cut their losses and maybe try to like get somebody else during, more than likely, if they're trying to like push to not be like even fighting for the relegation battle, down there. But yeah.
Hamza, your thoughts?
I heard there was I don't know, it was a rumor that there was an obligation if Leeds survive that they have to, like they have to buy. I think that was one of the terms. I'm not sure if that's still the case. So I read somewhere on Twitter that was the term, and I could be wrong. So don't call me by this. But I do think Leeds will survive. I don't think they get relegated. I think there's just something about Leeds that they end up surviving. Like they've survived a couple of times already. I don't think they go down. But if they do go down, I don't think there's any chance McKennie stays. But if they stay up, I reckon McKennie would go to Leeds. Because it's a club that I think he'll fit in nicely with as well in the future. And I think the teammates like him as well. So it's like the locker room, he gets along with it a lot better than I don't know how he was at Juve, because obviously we all liked him. Like I didn't have a problem with him, but obviously he didn't see me on a daily basis, did he? So, but yeah, no. In general, I think that I think if Leeds survive, I think he'll stay at Leeds. And I'll go watch a Leeds game to go see him. Yeah, I'll go watch.
No, I got you. But speaking of also Juventini that are on Premier League squads as well, we have two that are also both on loans. Dennis Big Zach Zakaria and Arthur I Still Play Call of Duty Mello. So the question is I think Arthur's coming back for sure. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. He's coming back to the club in the summer. But I'm curious about your guys' thoughts on Zakaria. If he comes back or not. Do you think we'll utilize him next season if he comes back?
I think he's gonna come back. I don't think Chelsea's gonna want to keep him because like obviously like Hamza was saying, like they're gonna get rid of a lot of players during the summer transfer window, and I think Zakaria is gonna be one of those ones they're like, we don't want to keep him on. So I think we do bring him back in. I think I like Zakaria when he was with the team. I thought he was fairly decent. He has the potential to be so much more. He was so good at Gladbach. It's like I think honestly, like he has the potential too to switch to a center back. If we wanted to go for like hey, we don't got the money to buy a center back, let's try to convert Zakaria to a center back.
Well, he can play as a center back. He's done it before. Yeah. Niket is saying, I would rather have Tyler Adams. So good, and we need a guy like him. I know.
It says no to Adama and yes to Adams.
Tyler Adams is a good midfielder, man.
He's a strong midfielder, bro. He fights. So
Adama Traore is 15 million. So now I'm looking up Tyler Adams.
I would assume Tyler Adams is relatively cheap, yeah.
So similar, yeah.
But what about Christian Pulisic? About how much would he?
I think he's still in his 30. I think it's around 30 million.
See if he's gone down. 38. It has been going down though steadily.
The only thing though is Pulisic is 3 years younger than Adama.
Yeah, it's 24.
So that's a little bit more longevity as a backup.
How long would Pulisic stay at the team, though? You have to ask yourself.
I could honestly probably see if he were to come, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, so about getting a 27-year-old
for half the
price.
For 2 years,
Okay, Ellie. Big Zach's a really good player, but I don't know if he will accept to stay at Juve if he comes back because his ego got hurt a lot. Yeah, that's a good possibility as well. A lot of things happen. Speaking of this, okay, rumors. Let's talk about rumors. I'm just going in a completely different direction. Did you hear about Yildiz and the horrible translation?
Nope.
Apparently, Yildiz is pissed off at Juve because they promised that he'd be in the under-23 team after the World Cup break. So
I saw a lot of people saying that was fake news, but I'm not sure. Like everyone in the comments are like, yeah, I think it was Gazzetta, and they're like, they're not very legitimate, But again,
So
how could he be that cheesed off? Because he's going to be getting his start soon, so I don't see him being that cheesed off, to be honest.
So this is something we learned from Beppe because he's fluent in multiple different languages, but Italian and English are a couple of them. And he does that news thing every morning where he reads the newspaper. So he does this every single day, and he's translating it every single day. But he also reads the other translations. And he says sometimes it is just so fucked up what people are saying. So I think this is one of those situations. And it's just another, hey guys, like don't just listen to the news. I mean, be very objective and very, very critical of what you're looking at these days, right?
Man, I don't even trust Juve Twitter sometimes because some of the stuff that goes through there, man, it's just like so badly translated or it's just like misquoted from an article. It's like, you gotta like look at the source, man. It's so irritating.
Well, yeah, because the thing is like, let's be honest here. So what was it? The automatic renewal for Sandro, or like it was being rumored as a contract renewal. Juve's renewing him for one more season. And then like you have a bunch of other Juve content creators that are like, oh, you see the standards of the club have gone down. We're signing Sandro to a 1-year deal. And then it comes out later, oh yeah, by the way, that's an automatic renewal based on appearances. Where it's just
the same thing happened with Bonucci a few months ago. And people are just like losing their mind.
Go ahead, Hamza.
Okay, so this is just a bit on top, a bit off topic, right? So, when I went towards that Fiorentina game, I went past J Medical just the day before, right? And they hadn't released the squad list for the game. So I saw this one guy leaving J Medical doing the Juventus stuff, and he was like part of the medical team. So he's like, you're not allowed to stand here. And I'm like, oh, no problem, I'm just taking a photo. Once the photo's done, no problem, I'll get out of your way. But I said, I just have a quick question for you. He's like, yeah, go on. I said, is Pogba going to play tomorrow? And he's like, well, I don't think I'm supposed to tell you, but no, there's no chance Pogba plays tomorrow. There is no chance. So he got off, and then first thing I did, went on my Snapchat story. First thing I did, yes, lads. Well, first thing I have to tell you guys, Pogba's not playing tomorrow. I've heard it first from the mouth of the medical center. They've told me confirmation, and I turned the camera to the J Medical. I said, Pogba not playing tomorrow. Literally, like half an hour later, I saw it on Twitter somewhere that someone said, oh, Pogba's not playing, and I'm like, that was me.
That was you. There you go.
You should have asked them. You should have asked them how much they get paid for all the players. Like, are you always in J Medical?
He asked me, do you have any more questions? But at the time, I just said, can you just take a picture of me and my friend? And he's like, yeah, go on. I'll do that.
That's funny.
And I did like a proper picture of me like limping and stuff outside J Medical. That was just
that's funny.
Whole different thing. Yeah.
And and that's one of the reasons why Dave and we don't really post too much like news or rumors or anything like that.
That's not the reason. I just fucking hate Twitter.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, if you guys see anything that's like on the Instagram or on the Twitter, that's usually Farhad that posts.
It's unless it's him. Like if it's about a YouTube thing, that's me. If it's anything else, it is not me.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I kind of assumed.
Because it's like, because there'll be times, and I love him to death, but he'll post like some super edgy stuff, and I'm just like sitting there, I'm like, oh, come on, should I tell him to take that down? Because the thing is like nowadays, because again, with our partnership with Juve on Twitch, we kind of need to be a little bit more professional. So like, we can't sit here and just be like, you know what, sack Allegri by his balls or something.
I haven't changed anything.
We try not to, but
I'm pro Allegri, by the way. Always will be, always have been.
Pro Allegri?
Yep, I've always been, and I always will be. I rate him as a manager. I watched him even at Fiorentina game. I was just looking at him for like a good 10 minutes. He's like, what are you looking at? I said, I'm looking at my manager.
Nice. Frankie, are you pro or con?
I'm kind of like in the I'm pro right now. For now, I'm pro just because it's like we can't really get anybody else right now. So I'm kind of just like, I'm down for it. I'm down for the Allegri because I mean, Allegri. It's kind of weird, but Allegri ball kind of is like what got me into football again in the first place when I first got into Juve.
Okay.
So my thing with Allegri, I'm going to say this, is if you look at it statistically, second best defense in the league with one true center back.
That's actually not bad when you consider it that way.
Like everyone, I mean, I get it. Like the thing is, everyone's like, oh man, negative tactics, boo, Allegri ball, blah, blah, blah. Guys, he made Alex Sandro look like a decent center back.
Yeah, you have to give him some credit. He's not the worst coach.
He's not like Mourinho. At least he doesn't play Mourinho ball. But like the thing is like we don't have players to actually implement because Allegri is a swift counterattacking squad. He's a tinker man. He's essentially like if you look at Allegri with the squad that he has, like for example, an actually developed squad, he could do lots of stuff. Like for example, the dude can cook, as Niket says it, but like he can essentially make adjustments, hit you really quick on the counter because that's how Juve used to operate. Like they just
Dude.
soak it up, hit you before you even knew you got hit. The problem is like you don't really have the personnel, and it doesn't and it doesn't matter what coach you have. We just don't have the personnel because like for me, you throw Zidane in, he does the same exact thing. You might get like, you know, new coach honeymoon phase where everyone's playing for the new coach and you win like 3 or 4 games. Goes back to shit.
I mean, if anything, we might get some players that want to come to Juve because of Zidane, but that'll be like pretty much it.
And we can't afford them.
Yeah.
But like, and that's the thing, because like the
And
same
if
thing,
Zidane dips, then so does the players.
yeah,
Remember that one as well.
Really.
yeah,
I mean-
and then that's another thing as well.
Yeah.
And then the thing is like for example, and we made a video on it about De Zerbi, so if you guys want to look at more context, we have the how to rebuild a squad. The only time you go with a full philosophical change is if you know that your squad is completely in the gutter and it's time to absolutely blow this crap up. But again, most Juventus fans want to win now. And hell, even now we're trying to do a rebuild while being decently competitive. Because this is a rebuild. I don't care what anybody says. Like the fact that, you know, we'll get into the TAR papers and, you know, potentially being back in second place, but we're a rebuild squad and we're in second place right now.
That
in theory.
is good and bad because
It is.
the Italian league really that shit?
I was about to say, what does that tell you about the rest of the teams?
You're all a bunch of bums. No,
I mean,
whatever.
Napoli. I'm not going to take anything away from them as much as
Napoli-
we like to hate
they're
them.
having an incredible season. I mean,
Yeah.
you can hate Napoli all you want, but like you have to acknowledge that they're having an amazing season.
They're the only complete squad in Serie A. They are the only complete squad.
I like
Yeah.
almost sheer luck in the sense of getting people like Kvaratskhelia and Kim. And who else? Like Oshiman. I know they spent big money, but man, so
Dude.
good as well.
Kim is one that like is underlooked. I feel like in that Napoli squad, like you're always gonna get that Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen are always like the ones that talked about because those are the guys that score. You know that they're up top. But I feel like Kim is very crucial to that team.
Yeah, he's very
yeah.
underrated. I think essentially they don't even miss Koulibaly. I think Kim puts him in a better place than Koulibaly did. And
Well,
then
less
Bone
wages.
says,
Yeah, there's less.
and then Bone says, "Nah, we need to blow it up and yet the youngsters play." That's fine. I mean, again, if Juventino fans are comfortable with finishing, you know, 6th at best, I mean, we can do that. But again, that's one of the reasons why you don't turn to a De Zerbi or Italiano, because again, you do that, you have to blow it completely up and be willing to be there for a couple of years. And then Niket says Allegri's Milan teams are fun to watch and played very nicely. They fought Juve tooth and nail in 11 when Juve won the first Scudetto. That's my thing. You give him the right personnel, and no, not Paredes, guys, before you sit there and be like, oh, well, they got him Paredes and blah, blah, blah.
I don't think there's any other options, and it was a bit of a gamble.
Yeah.
It was a
like,
loan. I mean, it made sense.
It's a loan with an option. There's nothing wrong with it, but because the thing is like you look at Allegri's most elite team. His elite team was 2016, 2017, in my opinion, where you have, again, obviously you have Buffon and BBC in the back, but like, for example, your right wing back or your right back at the time was Dani Alves. Your left was Alexandro. So again, you're running essentially, and this is when he ran the star formation. So you had Miralem Pjanic and Sami Khedira as the deep line midfielders. Then on the left, you had Mario Mandzukic, you had Paulo Dybala, and then Cuadrado and Higuain. That squad's gonna dice you up, man.
Mario Mandzukic, what a player!
Exactly,
Yeah,
dude. I feel like we need a kind of like Mario Mandzukic type player in the squad.
Mhm.
you do. And the thing is like kind of going in on that, and those guys knew how to play the game. Like those players were incredible. Like they all had completed games, completed player profiles. Where it's like with us right now, the only player that's really completed per se, the only 2 or 3 are Chiesa, Pogba, and Di Maria. Those are the players whose game's entirely formed. Bremer's still developing his game. Bremer's still young, guys.
I
He's
would
25,
argue.
26.
I would argue Chiesa has more to give.
Yeah, I think he can.
I reckon Kostic as well has given a lot. I think he's been.
Yeah.
No, I forgot about. I don't know why I forgot about him on that, but like the thing is like all around, like as far as completeness goes. I mean, yeah, Chiesa still has more potential to grow. But like for example, for me, it's like Dusan needs a lot more to improve on. I'm not saying he's trash. He needs a lot more to build. Locatelli as well. I think Locatelli needs to improve his game as well.
Yeah.
But he is doing well. He's on fire right now. Do you not think he's on fire, or
He's
is it just me?
grinding. He is my type of player because he's grinding and
Yeah,
not
yeah.
everyone's
It's-
style.
Yeah, man. I
It's
love,
passion.
I'm
Yeah.
loving Locatelli right now. He'll get a yellow card every game, but he'll put in them good tackles. He'll fight for that badge.
He just came back from suspension and followed it up with a yellow card.
Yeah, Loca's the guy that's giving you the grit. I think Loca can improve his game a lot more. And it was really my dad that kind of brought that to attention to me, where he's like, Loca still has a lot more to do. And I'm like, what are you talking about? The dude's looking like he's one of the most sauciest midfielders. He's like, look at his offensive contributions. He's like, Fajoli blows him out of the water.
Yeah.
As far as short passing,
Yeah.
long passing, all of it. He's like, Fajoli has it. Like, for example, I mean, Fajoli can still improve some things as well. I still think Fajoli needs to get a little bit faster as far as speed goes, but his passes are really good. Like, that's the one thing where he's saying that if Locatelli can essentially, because Locatelli has the defensive aspects of being a midfielder, and his offense is just a little bit suspect.
But here's the thing. Fajoli is the dude on the pitch that's getting slide tackled constantly, whereas Locatelli is a dude slide tackling the fuck out of everyone else. That's
a fair point as well.
Yeah. And then I think
that's a good thing. That's a good thing to have though on the team. You got somebody who's seen as such a threat that he's getting constantly slide tackled by the opposing defense, and somebody who's willing to I'm gonna get back my own for my boy Fagioli over here and take out their legs.
Yeah, it's the balance.
But that's also the concern about Fajoli, because Fajoli isn't strong enough to win the physical challenges. Because the thing is now teams know how to play him. Like that's the problem. It's the same thing with Dusan, guys. Like Dusan has that issue because, like, for example, I implore all of you guys to watch his Fiorentina goals, and a lot of his goals are him in space on the run with a through ball where he scores. Teams now know that, so they're man marking him. So the thing is, and that's one of the big jumps when you go from Fiorentina to Juventus. There's two factors that go into it. One, when you're the main guy at Fiorentina plays for you. That is 100% how it goes. Like, if again Fiorentina, because at the end of the day, Fiorentina wants to cash out on you. Like, they can tell you, oh, you're going to be a club legend and blah blah blah. No, the second they hear Juve calling, offering 80 million, you're on the next boat. But the thing is and then when you go into a club like Juventus, there's two things. So remember how I said when you're at Fiorentina is playing for you. At Juve, you have to play for yourself. Because think about it. We have Chiesa, Pogba, Di Maria, Kostic. All those guys aren't going to sit there and be like, all right, let's play for Dusan and make Dusan look good. Hell no. They want to make themselves look good. Because again, they're like, I can score. Why the hell do I need to always play my passes to him?
I would argue now in this case that Kostic doesn't give a fuck how he looks.
I was gonna say, yeah, Kostic. This man Kostic
he sacrifices for the team, man.
That man is so unselfish when it comes to like playing the ball.
He knows his role and he just owns it.
He knows what he's good at, and he's just so good at it that he doesn't care.
So, and then the other factor, number 2, is that everybody's scouting you more. So the thing is now everybody's watching Dusan because, again, that price tag, the comparisons, everyone's okay. This guy's a legit threat. He's not, he's not the Kevin Lasagna of Udinese or something like that. Like, he is, again, the number 9 for a big club. They're scouting him. This is his game. This is how his game plays. This is how we stop him. Now it's on him to adapt. Because, like, for example, Haaland and Mbappe, they adapted. And I don't care what anybody says. Vlahovic was being compared to those 3 as the next big 3, where it's Haaland, Mbappe, and Vlahovic. So Haaland went from Leipzig to Dortmund, still improved. Went over to Manchester City. His finishing is impeccable. It is a lot better than it was at Dortmund. Mbappe as well. Mbappe was, again, everyone used to call him, the L trigger in FIFA, where you just throw a long ball and he runs for it.
He still is.
He still is. He still is.
is.
But you know how many guys he has skinned alive on the dribble? His dribbling is incredible. Like, he literally nutmegged Gotti, bent Gotti over, and then just looked at him and then shot. Like, he absolutely skinned that poor guy.
Leave
Like,
my son alone.
Again, in the World Cup too, he made Emi Martinez his son. I don't care what they say.
Dude,
Like,
literally, if Mbappe had some help, they probably win that World Cup because that man was on fire in that final.
Mhm.
He was everything, dude.
He was the superstar that he gets paid to be.
and
But then I guess you could say so was Di Maria and Messi. So I mean,
and then you can look at Vlahovic's performances in the World Cup. You can say that he was injured, etc. If he was injured, he shouldn't have gone, in my opinion. He shouldn't have played.
That's so easy to say from the outside.
It is, but the thing is, why tank your stock? Or why risk getting hurt even more?
It's the World Cup.
I get it, but your Serbia team's not going anywhere. And
You're 22 and it's the World Cup. Man, I don't know.
So
I'm not saying it makes sense. Just remember,
I get it.
When you were 22, did you think rationally at all?
Man, at that point, he has to be like, yo, I'm invincible, bro. I'm young. I'm invincible. I'm going to this World Cup.
But
that was me last year, so I'm like, yo, am I not thinking rationally right now? What am I doing at 1:10 in the morning talking to you guys? I don't know. I'm just
listen,
doing my thing.
By the time you hit about 21, 22, you start questioning yourself, am I mature or do I just think I am? And then one day you can't get out of bed and you're like, fuck, I'm old.
Yeah.
That's me every day now. But, there's a couple of things you can argue with that. But, like, the thing is like, and you can look at it on Twitter. It's a debatable topic. But the thing is like, Vlahovic can't dribble, man.
No.
Like, he can't dribble or he doesn't have a touch. Higuain had more of that. Like, we control Higuain for all the moments that he's done. He's done some pretty stupid stuff.
I always like the guy.
No, I loved Higuain at Juve, even for all the dumb things he did. He was still like, if you gave Higuain the ball, more than likely he's gonna score.
And I saw Higuain score on Miami against Toronto, and I wasn't upset.
Yeah, in like the goals that Higuain scored for Juve, like, he'd just be creating chances out of nothing or doing something out of nothing. Like, the guy was a great striker for us.
Yeah.
Even Carlos Tevez at the end of his career, great striker for us. It's just, Mandzukic as well. Like, Mandzukic knew how to get open, how to look for the ball. And
but I think,
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think it's to do with the confidence. Like, I think that Vlahovic at the moment he's low on confidence, and I think you said about his dribbling, and you said he can't dribble, and I kind of disagree on that because, like, if you see some of the build-up play he does, like, there is dribbling involved. Like, he is playing like a false nine when I see him play nowadays, where he is coming more deep and just passing it out a bit and just trying to make something happen. But I just think at the moment his confidence is low, but once he starts scoring again, I think we'll see the old Dushan, and you'll be like, you know what? It's just time that I think maybe next season, if he stays till next season, I think we've got a big player. But it's all down to him, to be honest, because I think the same potential is given to João Felix in Atletico, and now no one talks about him. Like, okay, he went to Chelsea now, but before then, like, no one really spoke about him. He was supposed to be the Mbappe. He was supposed to be the Haaland. He was supposed to be that next guy. Like, because he was Portuguese and he had that hype and he was really good at attacking and stuff, but did he really live up to it? I don't think so.
If you want to talk about coaches that destroy players' potential,
Simeone. Diego Simeone, bro, he definitely does. I mean, except for I guess right now Rodrigo De Paul is kind of balling out under him, but yeah,
he had his downs there too, though.
But yeah, but I just wanted to say something about like, pretty much, Hamza, you were saying, like, Dusan's doing some, like, I got some build-up play. He was trying to do a lot more of, like, holding up the ball for, like, other people to come up. I was seeing that more recently. Like, he's trying to do a little bit more hold-up play, which I think is good for him because he needs to, like, expand his style a little bit more because right now I don't think even Dusan knows what he wants to do when he gets the ball or like when he's going forward. I think he's just a little like kind of like, you know, everybody's marking me. What do I do? Type of thing. This Freiburg game is going to be huge for him, just like it's going to be huge for Gatti. If Gatti does play in this game, this is going to be a huge like make or break like game for Vlahovic, where it's like obviously he's going to have his starting position no matter what because you know he's our striker, you know, through and through. That's going to be our guy, but it's going to be huge for his confidence. He needs to score at least, I feel like 2 goals in this Freiburg game if he really wants to get back on track.
I got you. And then Ellie, I know, I'm sorry, but I'm a Juve fan first before a World Cup fan first. So
when they let us have our own emotes that we can do in the YouTube chat, I'm figuring I can make like a middle finger emote, one that says Dash, one that says Dave, so people don't have to like type out, "Oh, I don't agree with you, Dash." It would just be like Dash.
Just.
Yeah. Every time Dave mispronounce something, I'm gonna have the Dave. Fuck you. Sorry.
No. Well, that's fine because we've always said we want to be called out, right? Like we have our opinion, sure, but if
Tottenham, you know, let's see Tottenham. You know, what's Tottenham saying? You know,
Tottenham has
no, it's Tottenham.
Tottenham, yeah, Tottenham, yeah, Tottenham.
I couldn't believe you guys said that. I was playing FIFA and I just started dying laughing. I'm just like, I can't believe he just said Tottenham. I'm like,
yeah, okay, but let's be honest. Like English, proper air quotes English. Your pronunciation on things like Leicester, for instance, or Worcestershire. When you look at it phonetically, that is not how you say these words.
Are we really getting into phonetics right now?
Yes, we are.
But I think our pronunciation is correct because it's called English. So the way the English people say it and the British people say it is the correct way.
But you got taken over by a bunch of Norsemen and Frenchmen. What is English?
It doesn't matter. You know, like in my opinion, it don't matter. You know, like you don't tell a French guy how to pronounce a guy from France, you know, how to pronounce French. So you know, like you don't go to an English guy and say, "Listen, mate, you're saying it wrong." They'll just say to you, "Listen, bugger off that way. We created the language, you know, so this is our language. Don't watch that." But yeah.
Yeah, but you like created it and then burned down your own creation.
No, they gave it to us.
Okay, America took the ashes, made some sort of paste out of it, pissed on it, and burnt it out again.
And then now we have slang.
Did you see that video of Speed going to like someone from Netherlands and say, "How do you say this?" And then the guy's like, and then the person said it, and then he's like, "That's English. That's English. What's wrong with you?"
It's funny, like the closer you get to the like actual form of English, the more incoherent it actually is.
Like, are you serious right now?
Because you can go to like Alabama and they sound funny, but you know what they're saying. But you can go to Leicester or however the fuck you pronounce it, and you don't know what the fuck's going on.
No. You'll be able to understand people from Leicester. It's the Scouse people. You know the people from Liverpool.
Yes, it's the Scouts. It's the Scouts.
It's the people from Liverpool. I actually work in like an insurance company as well, so I get a lot of calls from these Scouse people. I tell you right now, some of the things they say, it's beyond me. Scottish people and Scouse people, it's very difficult to understand what they're saying. But obviously,
but you get to learn it though. So like, do you guys know Newfoundland? It was the last province of Canada. It's this island to the east coast of Canada, and it was a British colony until, what was it, 1949, I think it was. So it was still part of the British Empire until it became part of Canada. They speak so messed up. I married one.
He's like, they speak so terribly that I had to marry one.
I married one. The first time I went, and like, it's not like they live from the city. Like you fly into the city and then there's a 5-hour drive to this place on the middle of the Atlantic, like on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean.
Sounds like a serial killer movie.
Dude, I smiled and nodded for like the first 20 minutes before my mother-in-law, because I married this girl without telling anybody. My mother-in-law was like, "You don't know what the fuck I'm saying, do you?" I'm like, "No, ma'am, I do not. I do not." It just like called me out right there. So needless to say, like it's messed up. There's so many different versions of the same language. It doesn't matter where you go. I have now since learned to understand it, but I kid you not, there's still one man in this town I cannot understand. like he will talk to me, and I will go to my father-in-law. I'm like, what did he say? And he will say it in still his like retarded Newfoundlander accent, which nobody else in the country can understand, but I now learned how to understand, and I understand him translating this other Newfoundlander that speaks like the next level of incoherent English. It's amazing. And I really like it.
You know, the people that can speak English the best, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not joking. If you ever hear anyone from there, you'll know. You know, people from South Africa, they can actually speak the best English. Like, I'm not even joking to you. You ever speak to a South African that knows English, they'll speak it better than anyone in England and put us to shame. Or America or anywhere else in the world. These guys, they know how to pronounce every word, and it's just, I have a lot of respect for them. Yeah,
I went to school with a guy from there, and that's true. I do remember that. He had like a very precise enunciation of words.
Yeah, you guys think that's bad, man. Like, so let me give you some 401 on Albania, man. Like, Albania's like 3 million people in the country right now. The country's tiny as hell. 5 dialects. And you cannot, like, for example, me, I was born in the capital, so I was born in the middle of the part of the country. Like, if I were to go to the north, their Albanian and my Albanian, worlds apart.
It's the north. It doesn't matter which country. The north is always a little bit more messed up.
It's insane. Same thing with the South. Like, and the thing is, it's like, and the funny thing, and I always find it ironic, and I always kind of tease the Albanians in the United States or in Michigan, where they're like, "Oh, you're from the north," and blah. I'm like, guys, chill. We all immigrated here like 20 years ago. Like, who cares about what region it is at this point?
No, it still does, because even run the podcast the other day, and like all the Calabres that are part of like the Turin Giants, like, oh, you're Calabres, I'm Calabres, he's Calabres, we're all Calabres. It's like, who cares? Like, when was the last time we went there, bro?
Because it was funny because like I was at this charity event a few months ago, and I was speaking Albanian, and they're like, "Oh, you have a Tirana dialect," and I'm like, "Oh, what now?
You got a Tirana dialect?"
Like, apparently,
you did, because you said Toronto. I'm proud of you. Okay, go on.
Not Toronto, Tirana.
He said Tirana.
Tirana. Dave's thinking of Toronto. I thought, hey, Dave, it's like PTSD with Toronto, man. I thought you hated the place, and you're just like.
That's still my hometown. Whatever. Fuck you.
Oh man, we gotta cover the one thing that we haven't covered yet is the TAR. So the 15. So the 15 points.
Okay, that's what we're gonna kill it on too. By the way, guys. So, and man, the polyester that your couch is made out of really distorts the microphone. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh, you mean this here? Let me tell you something about this amazing chair, right? My dad went to the exhibition, and he's like, Hamza, I bought a new chair. It's on its way. I says, Dad, like, you're a legend. You bought a chair. So he came and he bought it, and it's like an oyster. So it's like it spins around. You see this? Just goes around like that. Wow.
That's awesome.
Yes, lad. So it's like, it's very comfortable. But the thing is, this is actually a conservatory. So the reason I'm moving so much is because it's freezing in here. It's absolutely freezing, and it snowed outside. So it's when it's snowing, it's okay. But once the snow settled, that's when it's cold. And in the conservatory,
you realize who you're talking to right now about snow.
I did realize that. You see, I'm wearing a massive jacket here. I'm wearing a UV scarf. And I'm literally freezing my socks off. I'm not even wearing socks. That's the thing. I think that's why I'm moving so much. I'm like, God, I forgot to wear my socks. I had a choice as well. Before I came to do this live stream, I'm like, pick up my socks. I'm like, why would I wear my socks? Only like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Who needs socks?
I was just saying, hey, first world. That's the definition of first world problems right there.
Around the circle. Dash, are you wearing socks?
Hold on, wait for it. I don't think I'm that flexible, but yeah.
He's got socks on. Frankie, you wearing socks?
I am not. I'm in my room. We don't get snow till Friday, so yeah.
Okay, no socks for Frankie. So Hamza, you do not have socks.
He doesn't count.
No.
He's a cheesehead. Cheeseheads don't wear socks.
I also am not wearing socks. Dash, you fucking weirdo.
We're immune to the cold over here.
I'm the only one that's wearing socks. Fuck.
Yes, you are. Okay, tell us about the 15
I'm
points.
freezing. Yeah.
Hey, well, you know what, guys? Dave never wears pants. He's just lying. He just never stands up mid-live. No, I'm just kidding.
I do sometimes. Go on. All right, let's get on with it. The 15 points. Let's end it on this. It's too much fun, but I mean, we'll be here all night.
Do you want to open it up, or do you want me to open it up?
No, roll with it, man.
All right, so there's been a couple of court proceedings or a big court proceeding recently that is talking about new documents, alleged documents that are surfaced, and the defense will be, the Juventus lawyers will be able to utilize. Because the thing is when they did the original 15-point trial, the crazy thing about it was this form, essentially, which actually talks about when the investigation really happened. You have to press charges or press something within 60 days of it. And FIGC never released the date of when the investigation started. So they were trying to say that the investigation started in October, so the 60 points came within the threshold. But in reality, the investigation started in July. So essentially, Juve got tried for a crime that they could not get legally tried for.
So this is essentially the statute of limitations has expired.
Yes.
Bam. Technicality.
So this is essentially it's a pretty big assist to Juve.
Well, well. Dave,
From the Cats, I am in Minnesota in my home office. I am not wearing socks.
Fine.
That
I guess I'm a little bitch, guys. I'm sorry. I failed you guys all. I'm done. Here we go, guys. I'm leaving. I quit.
The Elder Council has spoken.
Take off the socks.
No, I will not take my pants off.
oh no. I was just going to activate my screen recording for my OnlyFans, but now I've deactivated it again. Let's go back to Feet Finder.
From Bones. Sorry, Dash. I'm in my room. Also, no socks.
What else are you?
My God.
I don't know how you have any credence. Like what you're telling me right now is fake news because I cannot trust you anymore.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, oops.
Guys wearing socks. You got no circulation. How do you even think?
I just let it stay stiff. That's it.
Oh Jesus!
Gotta keep the blood building up.
Gotta keep it stiff. All right. Okay. So
let me pull up the actual news article here. I'll present it, share the screen, just so we can kind of go over it, so it's not word of mouth because I can't even do a sentence right now.
Yeah.
Basically, in non-lawyery speak, there's a technicality, and we're probably getting the 15 points back.
The thing is that just something to let you guys know of that. If we don't get the 15 points back, I owe two of my friends 2 steaks, so we need to get them points back because I was so confident. The day they took it from us, I went into my mate's shop and I said, "Listen, lad, if they take over 50, if they give over, I guarantee you they're giving over 15 points back." They said, "No chance, no chance." I said, "Listen, I'm so confident. How confident are you?" I said, 2 steaks, 1, 2, done.
Okay, so what are we talking? Are you cooking the steaks or taking them to a steakhouse?
Oh no, I'm taking them to a steakhouse. I ain't cooking the steak. Come on, man, that's going to be dreadful. Like I can't cook to save my life. I'll be honest with you. Most likely,
your mom usually cooks for you. We understand that, yeah.
Yes, I'm a mommy's boy. Yes, I am. I will say publicly on YouTube, my mom is the best chef in the world, and I will never say otherwise.
There is no shame in that. That's good to go. You represent your mother.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. Well, let's just do it. Love to Hamza's mother. We all love you. Thank you for feeding this young boy and keeping him strong and just like flesh full of love and piss and vinegar.
This is like a hello mom moment. Yeah, hello mom. Thank you. And you dad. Don't forget you.
No, I can't forget that.
Big shout out goes to Hamza's parents for providing him good genetics to have good foot circulation, so he doesn't have to wear socks.
And Frankie's parents obviously doing a great job as well. Dash's parents
do
better. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Apparently, everybody besides me has great genetics and feet circulation.
You've never brought your dad onto the show. You said you would, but I know what we're talking about now.
He doesn't want to.
He's probably disappointed in you.
He probably is. I mean, what do you want me to do? I mean, even Ronaldo agrees.
Ronaldo.
I would love to see Dash's dad. I would love to see him on the podcast. Yeah.
I want to get him on, but like the thing is like schedule wise, and also like he's got some hella takes, man. Like he'll sit there and like the dude's Like the dude's sport IQ for the game is like ridiculous. Like he'll see plays and tell us, like, just be like, all right, this is going to move here. That's going to do this. And that's going to go there. And you're just like, how the hell do you know that? Like he's like Isagi level future, like spatial awareness, future sense. Like it's insane. It's like a game. It's like a video game for him.
So Bones is saying big shout out to Dash's Socks for keeping it together. Yeah, I think that's a good call out, actually, man. That's a lot of shit to keep together.
Yeah, guys. If you wanna get my pair of socks, go to the Turin Giants store, turingiants.com. Discount code socks with cocks, and boom, you'll get the.
I'm sure you could sell it in that feet selling shop. You know where you used to try on them shoes and stuff. I think you could sell the socks as well. You know.
Look, until we get monetized by YouTube, we're gonna have to do some way to pay the bills. So it looks like I'm taking pictures of my feet. So we're gonna be doing a Turin Giants feet department or feet store or something like that. And
that's really not asking that much, honestly. To take pictures of my feet, you can do much worse.
We're doing feet posters around here now.
Yeah, sure. Apparently it sells.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Discount code Turin Giants for 5% off.
Yeah, well, speaking of which, I scrolled across the screen, but if you're only listening in, code 209 at the Turin Giants store, turingiants.com, 10% off for the rest of the week.
I thought it was 15.
Is it 15? Did I screw it up?
It's 15.
15. Thanks, Frankie.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the audio. And it doesn't help because you can't hear it in that podcast because the audio sync was off.
Yeah.
Sam sounded like I'm not gonna lie, it made Sam sound like a giant douchebag because like people would be talking and Sam's like, my favorite part was like when I was talking and then his audio cuts and he's like, fuck man, don't even get me started with eggs. Like I was trying to drink these eggs and I just started blowing chunks all over the place. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I don't remember Sam cutting me off about eggs. And then I was like listening on and like every single moment Sam spoke, it sounded like he was cutting people off. And it was just really, really funny. And then Bones is saying, he's like, yeah, no, I couldn't watch it. So like,
I sat down and actually tried to edit things out, but I realized that it was just getting more and more fucked up the more I tried to fix it. And I'm like, I don't get paid to do this. And I actually have to go live in a couple hours. So like, fuck this. Fuck you, Farhad. This is what you got because this is what you gave me. Needless to say, he has canceled his Riverside.fm subscription, and we are going to do it now on the StreamYard because, I mean, this is what we're using right now. It works pretty well. We haven't had any issues. So
I still listened through the whole thing, dude. I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what? That sometimes some of it, the cutting off in the back actually adds a little bit to it.
It does. Like I listened. So when I was first editing it, I got to like 18, 19 minutes when it first started cutting.
Yeah.
And I messaged Farhad and I'm like, dude, there's something fucked up. Like this isn't right. And I'm editing. I just keep on playing. And I'm like, no. And I start looking because on Premiere, when you have the audio clip, you can see where it dips, right? Where there's like no audio and it just completely cuts out. When I look and it happens like 8 times, I'm like, oh my God, the whole thing is fucked up, Farhad. What'd we do? What happened? And he was like, whatever, man. It's just, this is what you got sometimes. Just roll with it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Allegedly, we're filming something on Friday. There might be a podcast recording on Friday. They're just finalizing the guests. Rav from Football Italia is going to be on this episode for the pod.
Nice.
So that's going to be a fun podcast. I think maybe I'll be able to make it. I'm not too sure. Because the thing is so you guys, just so folks know, because again, we're going to be posting more podcasts on YouTube. There is the YouTube crew, and then there's the podcast crew. Sometimes we mesh with each other on some stuff. Most of the time, they kind of do their own thing. So, like, for example, the podcast is going to be Farhad, sometimes Adam Digby, Sam Adamo, Weston, Luca, and everyone else will be on the pod. Me and Dave usually handle a lot of the YouTube stuff. So, like, the double takes, the pre-games, the post-games, the call-in shows that you see right now. So, it's kind of like that because, again, there's 2 separate Twitter pages. So the Juve pod and then Turin Giants YouTube. So just so people know. So like people aren't sitting there like, where'd Dave and Dash go? Where are these new folk? It's the podcast.
We're the new folk.
We're the new folks. They're the OGs. We're the new guys. We're just here so we don't get fined. But yeah, just to kind of give everyone there. And then, yeah, as Arslan's saying, I listened to the whole thing. It felt like I was multitasking, listening to 2 conversations.
God bless you. God bless everyone that actually listens. Okay, be honest, because I did not listen to the whole thing. Once I realized, when I listened about half of it and I realized it was a lost cause, I just uploaded it, did the thing, played it on YouTube just to get the watch hour out of it. I like put it on mute and walked away. So, Frankie, did you watch it?
I did. I listened to the whole thing. Like I said, I listened to it while I was at work. So I was over there working, and just kind of listening to everything. I was like, oh, so like some of it obviously is like a little hard to hear with the double conversations, but for the parts that were, and it'd be like the awkward moments of silence.
Yeah,
it's waiting to catch because it's waiting to catch up. But other than that, I did enjoy the pod. I was very much much enjoying it.
All right, thank you, Hamza. Well, how about you?
Well, I was just thinking that I think the dogs are wearing socks, but Dash is still. Dogs wearing socks, but Dash is still with no socks. But is what it is. That's why it's barking at you, Dash. It's okay.
I get it.
Don't worry about it.
I get it. Oof.
Our old
I'm
friend is here in
back.
the comments.
Oh.
He's back.
Under a new name, Saeed Ogoots or Goose now.
He says, who will be the most successful in the Champions League out of the Italian teams, and who will win it all? Bro, it's Maccabi Haifa. What are you, 5? To be honest with you, I think it's going to be Napoli. They're the most complete team out of everybody.
It has to be. Yeah, and who's going to win it all? Let's just throw it out on Real Madrid because it's the easiest one to do.
Yeah. And then this is a message for you, Mr. Sam Adamo. Helicopter chiming in. Hey, Sam, with a tip, you should never drink raw eggs, especially U.S., but he is in Canada. So
he is in Canada.
Canadian
they're
US
pretty
eggs.
clean. They're pretty clean. I've drank raw eggs from a grocery store before. I have my own laying hens. They come out a lot shittier than what you get at the grocery store. I'll just say that. They're fine. I think overall they're fine. But yeah, if it's factory farming, whatever nonsense, you got to watch out. I honestly, personally, I just think Sam's a complete bitch, and he just puts this aura on like I'm this big fucking wop. I'm gonna fucking. I mean,
moral of the story. Moral of the story, guys and Sam. Never take it raw because you're gonna find more than what you bargained with inside you.
I think that's disgusting, man. That is disgusting. Like, I was watching the Rocky film and I saw him go gulp some eggs, and I'm like, that is disgusting. There must be some CGI there. This guy didn't just gulp that crap, man. I'm like, no ways he did that. What's wrong with you, man?
Gag reflex.
I was gonna say,
come on, man.
Sylvester,
come on, Dave. You can't do that, man. You can't just swallow eggs like that. Come on, man.
I have a pretty strong stomach. I don't know if I'm gonna get into it here, but I've eaten some things.
Oh,
hey, yo.
That's for another show. Come on.
What did you say?
That's fine dining, guys, Festa.
Well, is there such a thing as fine dining in England, or is that a foreign concept?
Wow.
Oh man.
I thought you bitches all just flew to Paris.
Oh my, just take the train.
Listen, our best dish is chicken curry, and that came from somewhere else, So.
No, we know, and we all love it. I mean, it sucks the way it got to you guys, but man, it's fucking delicious.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll speak to my ancestors and pass the regards. Don't worry. I'll chat to them and say, listen, David Dash, they're happy about this. You know what I mean? Everyone's happy about this.
We're all happy.
We're all happy about this. And Tom chiming in with Fido Alafina.
Fido Alafina, yeah.
I'm gonna say that on one of the episodes on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like, all right,
I got it here. Fido Alafina. Just got it here. Yeah.
Love it.
I don't know if it's the right way.
No, but it's all right. We get it.
It's all right. We see it.
We be like, all right, guys, thanks for watching this video, and always remember, guys, Forza Juve and Fido Alafine.
All right, talking about Fido Alafine. Let's Fine this one out.
Before we do though, score prediction. Do we have to do the score prediction, or have we already done that and I missed this?
We can do that too. Give us some time. So we'll first we'll do just around the panel. Are we getting the 15 points back? Yes or no? Hamza, are we getting the 15?
100% yes.
Okay, Frankie.
Yeah, I think we have to, man. They got to give him back to us.
Okay, Dash.
Yeah, with how FIGC just botched this whole thing because apparently they tried doing double jeopardy and passed the because the thing is so just for folks that are chiming in, the proceedings started April 21st of 2021. You have 60 days for investigation, 30 days for trial registration, and they did it 8 months later. So y'all botched it.
It's so Italian. It's
y'all
so
watched it.
Oh my god, it's you can't script it any better, I tell you.
So they do get the points back, and big shout out to Arslan where he says Albanian food is pretty good though. Yes, it is.
I don't think I've had Albanian food yet, but I'll
it's
try to make a point of it.
It's to be honest with you guys,
Okay.
it's pretty Mediterranean-esque. But you know, there is some like, for example, the interesting thing, just to give you guys a cultural lesson on this stuff. So like the Albanians had a lot of influence from the Ottomans as far as like foods and stuff like that. So like you have like your Mediterranean diet or food, and then it's got a little bit of hint of Middle Eastern. Like there's a lot of parallelisms. Like for example, the one thing I always like to say is like, if you know Lebanese folk or Lebanon, Albania and Lebanon have some very interesting parallelisms.
Okay, Lebanon's good to go.
Yeah, so like for example, you know, like our shawarmas are different than their shawarmas, but the thing is like for example, Albanian folk dance, which is called vale, and Lebanese folk dance, same concept, almost the same style of dancing. It's just they call it depke, we call it vale. So totally similar stuff, but yeah,
it's almost like you guys were one country at one point.
Yeah, but totally different stuff, which is crazy how that works. But anyways, because I've distracted us enough. Ellie is saying that we will get the 15 points back and then get another 15 for Prisma, if not more.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm feeling, that we're gonna give them away again. But next prediction for Freiburg, Frankie, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with a 2-0, and because I don't think we're gonna score many. Freiburg's a very defensive team. But I think we're going to get the 2-0, and one of them at least has to come from Vlahovic.
Okay. Yep.
I'm going with Frankie 2-0.
Hamza.
Well, look, I'm hoping for 2-0 as well, but I think it might be like a 3-1. I think we'll go down 1 first, and I think we'll recover really well. And I think from there we'll go up 3-1, and then it's just about the away fixture, if we can, maintain that, or if we mess that up.
I think we're going to do another
nonsense. Here's what you think. Boom, we're done. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on, man.
It doesn't matter what you think.
We're going to pull a nonsense 1-1. We'll kill it on the away leg. Sorry, for some weird reason. That's how we do it, because it's a leg root ball. It's consistent. Guys, this has been great. This has been so fun. But we're going to have to kill it. And now let's talk about food as well. I haven't even eaten dinner. I cooked dinner, and then it was like, well, too late. I gotta go. I cooked dinner for nothing. It's gotten cold now. So I'm gonna do that. Frankie, thank you so much for coming in. Parting words.
Yeah, it was an absolute blast. I always enjoy coming on, and for once I don't have to work, so I actually can be in the stream and hop on for this time. But yeah, it's always great to be able to talk to you guys, and even especially when things are going like not horribly, but just like little minor inconveniences. It's always nice to talk about it.
Got to get off the chest, man. Yeah, Hamza.
Well, it's always a pleasure coming into Twin Giants. Honestly, like, you guys, really good people and stuff. The timing's a bit iffy. I'm not working tomorrow, so I said it's midnight. I'll come on and see what you guys are saying. So I really feel blessed. So thank you so much, Dash and Dave. And also Frankie. It's been great. Honestly, like really great experience, and I love coming on and just giving my opinion. I don't have many like Juventus mates that's like support Juventus, but you guys are there, and it's a good community, and I'm really blessed. So thank you.
That's why we do it, because we're lacking on our end as well, right? So just a way to reciprocate. Dash, you know what time it is?
It's sign out time.
Oh yeah, baby. Here it is.
Okay, I thought we were doing like we were doing on Juve Twitch, just playing a bunch of random music. I was like, shit,
no,
man.
This is the real deal now,
dude,
brother.
I know, I get it. All right, brother, man. Hulk Hogan here. But anyways, guys, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in to the call-in show. Big shout-out goes out to Frankie and Hamza for stepping in again, guys. If you guys ever want to be in on the call-in show, StreamYard link is in the chat, and we have a pin. So, next time we do one of these, you guys can hop in as well. Also, big shout outs going out to Helicopter coming in again. Same thing with Bones, Selchuk, Tom, and our good friend Dan that was watching us on Twitch that hopped in as well. Also, guys, if you want some Freiburg stuff, because we didn't cover Freiburg too much this video, we do have a video on the YouTube channel for Freiburg. So go ahead and take a look at that as well, guys. Thanks for watching the video. And if you smell what the Turin Giants are cooking, you'll like and subscribe to the video. We'll see you on the next one.
I would unsubscribe after that one. That's for goddamn sure. Thanks, everyone, for sticking with us. It's been a fun one. We love doing these. And yeah, hopefully you can catch it the next time we do it and come and join us. And
I love Dash's socks.
Fuck, he's fucked it up. All right, later, guys.